Episode 10 continues the story from last week's episode, and we begin with Clone Force 99 on the same Mesa planet attempting to repair a skiff speeder. Omega brilliantly suggests that they should check their Gonk droid as opposed to their ship itself, and Tech compliments her and tells her to do a trace on Gonki's binary reference code. The camera cuts to the Marauder being piloted by the thief from last episode, revealing themselves to be a kid named Benni, who's bringing the ship to his boss, a slaver with modified droid parts named Mokko. Anyhow, Omega and the batch finish tracking Gonki and discover that he's still on the planet, indicating that the ship is too. After successfully repairing the skiff, they head towards the signal and locate their droid in Benni's possession. After attempting to flee and to no avail, the Bad Batch order Benni to take them to their ship, to which he hesitantly agrees, in fear of being caught with them by Mokko. They manage to breach Mokko's mining base via the exhaust shafts and take down the guard droids on their way to the Marauder. They arrive in the upper garage bay and discover that the ship has some parts taken out of it, including the hyperdrive. In addition, the bay's ray shield is still activated, resulting in Benni and Omega going to the central tower to deactivate it while the rest of the crew reinstall the hyperdrive. On the way to the tower, Benni stops in the living quarters to steal the access card from a fellow worker. However, after successfully stealing the card, he stops Omega from continuing to the central tower just yet, as he wants to hear the work tally when Mokko walks in. Even after acquiring the ship for Mokko, Benni fails to come in first place yet again, as the boss reveals the same winner as usual, who just happens to be the worker Benni stole the access card from. Mokko gives the first place winner a bowl of his own food, and gives the rest of the workers one bowl to share from, displaying just how cruel he is, enjoying the sight of his workers fighting desperately for rations. Something I also want to mention is somewhere else in this episode, we see Mokko eating a full course meal while his workers are practically starving. Regardless, the pair continue on to the control tower, and once they arrive, Omega plugs in her device to disable the shields, while Benni presses a button that seemingly alerts higher-ups of a breach while Omega's distracted. They begin talking with one another while they wait, and Benni notes how the crew treat Omega like one of their own, adding that he wishes Mokko did the same. She responds by saying that it doesn't seem as though Mokko cares about any of his workers, and asks him why he doesn't just leave. A little agitated, he replies by telling Omega that she's wrong, and says Mokko told them they're bound to find better ipsium to mine soon, adding that he wouldn't want to leave anyway because it's his home. Omega tells him that she knows how that feels, saying that their ship is their home too, mentioning that it's the only one they have. Benni apologizes about stealing the Marauder, and Omega gives him her food rations as a way of thanking him for helping. We see Benni look quite regretful about pressing the button earlier, but nonetheless, Omega would soon discover Mokko's profit reports while attempting to lower the shields. Curious, Benni takes a look at the device and realizes Mokko's been lying about the profit split. Funnily enough, Mokko soon walks in with his security droids and escorts Omega out of the control room, thanking Benni for his service, adding that the title of top earner is in his future. Mokko and the Bad Batch meet up on the bridge, and Mokko tells them to be careful with their blasters, as one shot could set off the whole mine. Wrecker responds by saying that they don't miss, and Mokko says he believes them, but says they should reconsider, revealing to them one of his security droids hanging Omega over the ravine of lava. Just as they're about to be taken to the prison below, Benni runs out onto the bridge from the control room and reveals to everyone that Mokko lied and has been keeping all the profit to himself. As Mokko becomes surrounded by the workers, he orders the droid to throw Omega into the pit below. However, Hunter grapples onto the bridge above and catches Omega in midair. Meanwhile, Wrecker and Tech take out the droids on Mokko's level, and after attempting to attack the workers, he falls into the chasm of lava below. The episode ends with Omega questioning Benni's future, and Benni tells her that he'll be fine with Mokko gone, as everyone will be getting an equal share of the profit. He adds that if they ever need a thief, they can ask him, and to be honest with you guys, I really hope this doesn't mean we see him in a future episode or the finale saving their lives or something. Anyhow, they finally leave the planet with their ship, preparing for the events of next week's episode. Speaking of next week, we have episode 11 of The Bad Batch Season 2 and episode 1 of The Mandalorian Season 3. But anyhow, that's gonna be it. Have a great day. See ya.